Hello my dear friends. So on previously of Ramarajya, we had seen there was a new entry in the episode, that is Ram Prasad. So Ram Prasad was a friend of Seetha, so he had met her for a long time. They had a misunderstanding, later on it got sorted. So Seetha handovers the farmer's case to Ram. So Ram has a conversation with Seetha and he starts investigating the case and he interacts with the farmers, he starts gathering the evidences. So till here we had seen. So in today's episode, we are going to see, so how will Ram provide justice for the farmers? Who will have the upper hand? Will the farmers get their right, or will the construction company win over again the case? So who is going to have the upper hand in this case, and what turns and twists it is going to take, and what is the purview of the public on this case? So it is going to be very interesting today. So the drama begins with the courtroom. All have been gathered in the courtroom. So all of them have been gathered. On the one panel we see Ram and his colleagues, and the other side we can see Mr. Singhvi, the lawyer of the opposition and the lawyer for the KMV Constructions, who is present with all his expertise colleagues, and Ram with only few of them with his support, and the other side farmers. So all of them are gathered in the court and they are discussing. Everyone, there's a gossip going on. Who's going to win the case? Who's going to case? What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? In spite of this gossip, Mr. Singhvi greets Ram. Ram, it's glad to see you here. I'm surprised. What are you doing here? You must be participating in chess championship, right? Next month there's a championship going on, man. Why are you wasting your time here? Later on, Ram replies, well, thank you, Mr. Singhvi, for your kind obliged, but I think this is which I want to do personally. I'm fighting this case for the farmers. Okay, so Mr. Singhvi, I'm fighting this case for farmers because I personally feel that I have to provide justice, and regarding the competition, already I've participated, so I don't think there's a requirement. I will see it further on. So let's continue with the case, right? Later on, assistant comes over there and he announces, everybody please stand up. The judge has been coming. And all of them in attention, they pay attention and stands up and to greet the judge. And later the judge enters. Everyone please have your seat. And later on, all of them sits down and Mr. Singhvi, good morning, Your Honor. He greets up. Even Ram greets the judge. Later on, judge asks, Mr. Singhvi, kindly present your case in front of the court. Later on, Mr. Singhvi answers, thank you, my lord, for asking me. Later on, Mr. Singhvi opens his argument. My lord, this is a very simple land litigation case. Mr. Singhvi opens his argument saying, my lord, most of these farmers who are accusing my client, 14 of them, so Mr. Mahadev is representing KMV Constructions. He had paid already sum of 8 crore rupees per head for all these farmers. So whatever land they have been accusing of 40 acres of land, so they had paid the compensation, and simply for extorting another sum of rupees and extra money, these farmers have been plotted against my client, Your Honor. This is simply a baseless argument. I humbly request this court to immediately dismiss this case as soon as possible. Later on, judge asked, Mr. Ram Prasad, do you have anything to say on this one? So later on, Ram comes up. He opens his argument. My lord, what Mr. Singhvi is saying is completely absurd, I can say, because my clients are very poor peasant farmers. Why will they have to be extorting from money from the client? Because they are basically from cultivation background. They cultivate the crops, they do farming. From what the money they get after selling these crops, by that they fill their stomach. What will they do by extorting their client? This is completely wrong, Your Honor. Later on, Mr. Ram Prasad opens his argument, and he asks, my lord, I would like to ask Mr. Mahadev on this part. So I would like to inquire him. So what had happened that day? Why is these farmers accusing them? I would like to have a query with him. Later on, Mr. Singhvi, opposition lawyer, he stands up and he objects. I completely object on this, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Mahadev, had already spoken in previous hearing itself. He has given his statement, and why again has he been called? Later on, Ram says, "My lord, already Mr. Mahadev had given his statement, which was on previous hearing, but I wasn't present, right? I have few doubts, so that's the reason I want to have word with him. I want to have a word with Mr. Mahadev. So if the court is granting me permission, it would be very much helpful." Later on, the court gives permission and asks Mr. Mahadev, who's representing KMV Constructions, to come to the witness box. Mr. Mahadev comes and Ram questions Mahadev. "So, Mr. Mahadev, can you please tell me exactly what was the scenario, from where this has begun? Why is this happening?" Later on, Mr. Singhvi again objects. "My lord, these are the few questions which has been asked previously itself." Later on, judge enters. "Mr. Singhvi, can you please be quiet till Ram finishes?" Later on, Mr. Singhvi sits down and Mr. Mahadev answers, "Well, sir, we are basically a construction company and into real estate projects. So we do various kinds of projects, residential projects. So we had been searching for a land for a mega city project, what we had planned. So accordingly, we had found a land in Chandigarh in Ottawa village. We had approached the farmers also initially, who's accusing us, 14 of them, but they denied to sell their land. But later on, after a while, again we came with an additional amount of money. Later on, they accepted and they had came to our office and they had sold our land. If you want, you can examine all the documents which is present. So everything is legally, and we are a very reputed firm. We are not involved into any kind of illegal activities. We respect the law of the land." Later on, Mr. Mahadev says, "Sir, we do not do any kind of illegal works." What means you can verify all the documents. Whatever work we do, it is everything legal. Later on, "Okay, fine, Mr. Mahadev. So let me just come back to you." Later on, Ram asks permission with judges. "Your Honor, I would like to have a word with farmers also. So I would like your permission to be granted to call farmers to the witness box." Later on, Atmaram and all the other 14 farmers, they come to the witness box. Later on, Ram questions farmers. "So, can you guys tell me what had happened exactly, how this scenario started?" Later on, farmers answer, "साहब, हम लोग तो गरीब है, हम लोग मेहनत कमा कर, खून पसीना करके, खेती बाड़ी करके हम कमाते हैं, हम लोगों को ये सब मालूम नहीं साहब। उस दिन क्या हुआ था कि दरअसल 19 जनवरी को ये कंपनी वाले हम लोगों के पास आए थे। इन लोगों ने बताया कि हम अपना ज़मीन बेचते, लेकिन हम लोग तैयार ही नहीं थे। फिर से उन लोगों ने आया यहाँ पर, हम लोगों को बताया कि हम लोग उनको ज़्यादा पैसा देते हैं, आप लोग बेच दीजिए, लेकिन हमने मना किया। लेकिन एक दिन अचानक से आ गए थे ये लोग, सभी लोगों को इन सब से हटा दिया, हमारी ज़मीन से हम लोगों को अलग कर दिया था, और ऊपर से हम लोगों को उनकी ऑफिस लेकर गए थे, और वहाँ पर जो राठी साहब थे ना, उन लोगों को भी हमने कंप्लेंट दिया था। हमारी राठी साहब, स्टेशन के इंस्पेक्टर साहब, उनको भी हम लोगों ने कंप्लेंट दिए थे, लेकिन वो लोग भी वहाँ पर उस ऑफिस में मौजूद थे। उन लोगों ने हमको डराया था। राठी साहब तो उनकी पिस्तौल उठाकर हमको कहे थे कि अरे भैया, अगर तुम लोगों ने अगर सही नहीं तो किया तो तुम लोगों को शूट कर दूंगा मैं। हम तो डर गए थे साहब, हम क्या करें, इसलिए हम लोगों ने अपनी अंगूठा छाप दिया वहाँ पर। After that, later on, Ram says, "Your Honor, this is the truth what has happened." And again, I would like to question Mr. Rathi on this case. So, Your Honor, I would request the court permission for interrogating Mr. Rathi. Later on, Mr. Singhvi objects. "My Honor, this is completely absurd. Ram is again creating his own stories out here, and he's trying to pull up in some other way which has no head or no tail. Don't know what Ram is thinking about." Later on, Ram answers, "Mr. Singhvi, I think so you're getting hyper and hyper by these days. You're growing up your age. You should take care of your health." Later on, Ram answers, "My lord, I would humbly request the court to grant permission to have an interrogation with Mr. Rathi, because the farmers are saying that Mr. Rathi had threatened them. So it is very important." Later on, court grants permission to Inspector Rathi. Later on, Mr. Rathi arrives to the witness box. "So, Mr. Rathi, can you please tell me that farmers are accusing that you had threatened them to kill. So can you please tell me what had happened, how this happened?" Mr. Rati says, sir, these are completely false, sir. I can say all of these what they farmers, they are just liars, I can say. Sir, that day I was present in my nephew's marriage. You can watch the CCTV footages. It is there clearly you can see my picture. I'm completely out there itself. Later on questions, Ram questions Mr. Rati. Is it so, Mr. Rati? And I have similar kind of footages where you're present in 3 locations. Shall I show you that footages also? Can you please tell me how you're present in one day in 3 places, man? Are you a Shaktiman that you can go appear in any places at one time? My God, I'm really surprised. Later on, Mr. Rati says, is it so, sir? Sir, can you please show me which are those? I'm shocked. I don't know what is happening. Later on, Ram, he plays the videos and he shows where in the tollway which is passing out, it is near to the KMV construction office, 2 kilometers. And in the construction office also, it is completely shown that Mr. Rati is entering and his name has been registered in the logbook. And also in the footages, it can be shown he is walking in the office premises on what happened that day in 25th February. Later on, Rati is shocked. Sir, these are completely bogus. I don't know what is happening over here. Later on, is it so, Mr. Rati? Come on, Mr. Rati. You should tell me which is true, which is wrong. But according to me, I had submitted these videos for forensic lab and they have told the 2 of these videos are completely authenticated and video which you have produced is a fake one. This is the report, my lords, you can please examine of the forensic lab. Now it is front of you to my lord to examine and say which is right and which is wrong. Later on, Mr. Rati says, so Mr. Rati, Ram asked Mr. Rati, Mr. Rati, can you please tell me when these farmers had came to complain you, why haven't you registered their complaint? It is your duty to receive their complaint and register an FIR against the company when they are complaining. Later on, Rati says, sir, I wasn't available during that time. I had went to a patrolling duty. I was somewhere else. Later on, Ram again shows a CCTV footage. Come on, Mr. Rati. Why you simply keep on lying, man? Aren't you feel tired of lying? See, again you're accusing. But your writer, you ask, writer has given statement in previous hearing that Mr. Rati had told me to not take complaint. Later on, he says, no, sir. I had directed. I might be there. I was there. Yeah, I was there. I was present in the station itself. But I had directed my writer. I don't know. He has mistaken. He has completely mistaken. He has not taken the complaint. It is his fault. Fine, Mr. Rati. We'll leave it to that one and we'll come up to next regarding this one. Regarding this case, later on we'll come into this matter. Okay, right? So, Mr. Rati, you answer me. So, why did you threaten the farmers in that day? Later on, Mr. Rati answers, no, sir, I had not threatened at all. Fine. All of us are telling lie. Everything is going lie. Right? Okay, Mr. Rati. So, you have told your statement and everything has been recorded. You may leave now. Later on, Mr. Rati leaves. So, this is the end of the first episode. Kindly stay tuned with us. And next will be other argument. So next level, the court has adjourned this judgment to next day. So what is going to happen in the next episode? So even I'm curious to know. Friends, kindly subscribe and support us. So through this, even we get encouragement to do much more videos like this. Thank you very much.